Coming to you live from Simha Yoga Lab in Jersey City, New Jersey. Please visit my website, simhayoga.com, for the full streaming schedule, as well as payment information for Venmo and PayPal. Venmo is my preferred way of payment, and my handle is Simha Yoga Lab, and the 4-digit ID code is 8096 if you're prompted for it. Classes are $10. If you're having a difficult time, $5 is fine. Please do the best you can. I'm streaming on Instagram and on Facebook, and the videos are uploaded onto the postings. I also upload the videos onto my YouTube channel, which is Simha Yoga Lab. If you're not streaming on Instagram and Facebook, and you're just kind of taking classes throughout the day or at any time in the future, right? Or if you're having a difficult audio and video experience on Instagram and Facebook, I recommend for you to go to YouTube instead. The audio video is much better on there, so you might have a better visual experience. Also, you can bring up the videos onto your smart TVs. So now you have a bigger screen to practice with, right? So that's altogether just a much better experience. Okay, so today's class is basic. If you are tighter around the hips or your lower back, I recommend elevation. You can use a block or you can sit up on a blanket. Once you elevate, it makes it a lot more accessible for you to sit comfortably. Now, for those of you who are new to my practice, welcome. If you're working with special conditions or injuries, please be very mindful that if I'm going a little bit out of your range, that you always check in and make some decisions about what you should and shouldn't do, right? If a pose does not feel good or it works against your limitations or injuries, then you should always modify or pull back altogether, skip the pose, and then wait for the next one, right? Or if you know how to modify the pose, modify it instead. Or take it to some degree that is a little bit more accessible for you, so that you don't go into the pose with discomfort and with pain, right? So that's always really important. That you can just customize the poses for your needs, right? So that's what every asana is about, customizing it to what your most productive possibilities are, right? All right, let's sit up tall, palms face up. And with your eyes closed, lips gently touching, start to regulate your breath by breathing only through your nose. Three arms together, inhale. Keeping the eyes closed, hands together in prayer from the heart, pressing the thumbs into your heart, heart back into the thumbs, lifting the heart toward the sky, setting your intention for yoga practice, devoting your practice to someone or something, or to yourself, your supreme self that lives within your heart. Chanting the mantra of purification, purifying the space in which you practice yoga. Call a response. I will call it and repeat the response with you. Om Pavitraha, Om Pavitraha, Pavitrava, Pavitrava, Samvavushtan, Samvavushtan, Gato Piva, Yaha Smarit, Yaha Smarit, Pundrikaksham, Sabahya, Bihyendraha, Suchihi. Beginning to open the eyes, palms face up. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, right ear to the right shoulder, right hand to the left side. Chin toward the right shoulder. Release, back to center, drop the right hand, left ear to the left shoulder, left hand to the right side. And then the chin toward the left shoulder. Release, back to center, drop the left hand, chin toward the chest, big circles with the head in one direction, ear to one side, roll it back, opposite side, roll the center. Take a few more rounds in that same direction. Take it back to center and pause. And then the opposite direction. And back to center again. Lifting the chin parallel to the floor, neutral spine. Coming off your blocks. Extend the legs forward, separating your feet. Hands supported to each side, and turning the toes toward each other. And roll out. Draw in. Roll out. Draw in. Outer rotation, circling. Back to center, switch them around. Back to center again, cross your shins, opposite shin on top. Raise the arms up high, extend, twist to the right on the exhale. Inhale back to center. Exhale, other side. Back to center again. Side bends, right hand down, left arm overhead. Take it back up. Other side. Back to center. Legs forward, forward, fold. Draw back up again. Now keep the left leg extended and move the left leg over to the corner of the mat. So angle out the left leg. Take the right foot down. So you can move your right foot slightly further away if you need to, right? And the legs are roughly about 90 degrees. Alright, let's twist to the right. Right hand is behind you. Use your left hand to the right knee and twist. Take it back to center. Counter twist. Press your right arm to your right leg. Use that resistance so that you can draw the left shoulder back a little bit more actively. Come back to center. We're going to twist a little bit deeper to the right, right hand behind you. And if you can take the left arm to the top of the outside of the right leg and use that resistance to twist, take it. If that's too much, come back to the hand to the knee. Back to center again. This time, left hand to the floor. You're going to roll to the outside of the right leg and gently press your right thigh away. So you're getting a nice stretch to the inner right thigh, into the hip crease, into the groin. Take it back to center. Sole the right foot, inner left leg. Now, for those of you where your hips are tight, and it's difficult to get that right leg to go toward the floor comfortably, right? Because you do need the right leg pretty close to the floor in order to help you stabilize. If that is the case, right, if it's difficult for you to do that, you can always use your blanket and wedge in. So with this wedge, you can press down, right, and stabilize with that right leg. Now, if you don't have a blanket and you have a block instead, it works the same way, right? It's the same thing. So that it's quite nice for you to take this modified pose. All right, we're going to twist to the right again, and side bend over to the left. So you're leaning over the left leg. Keep your shoulders stacking. Raise your right arm up and over the right ear and extend. Now, as you extend, if you're tight around the lower back of the shoulders and you start to collapse on the right side, right? Then the way to correct that is to take the right hand behind you. Draw the right shoulder back so you can stack your shoulders some more and use that resistance to help you open up the shoulders as you side bend toward the left leg. right? So that's a nice way to modify the pose and keep the shoulders stacking. All right, take it back up, keep the legs as they are. We're going to twist to the left. Take it back to center. Let's switch sides. Extend the right leg out. Now let's take both legs forward first, right? So let's measure that out. Then angle the right leg over to the corner of the mat. So your right leg is a little bit further out. Step the left foot down. Now if the heel closer in toward you is rather tight, right? And difficult for you, walk it slightly further out. So you want to ground through that left foot so that's nice and stable to anchor you down. All right, so left hand behind you. Wrap the right hand to the left knee and twist to your left. Take it back to center, switch hands, right hand down, left arm, press into inner left leg, and twist to the right. So you want to feel the right shoulder actively drawn back. Right, back to center. If you can, you're going to go a little bit deeper in your twist. Left hand to support. You're going to hook the right arm to the top of the outer left leg and twist. If that's too much, come back to hand to knee. Right? Or maybe you can actually wrap the arm around the knee. That way it is a little bit deeper, but if you can't go here, then that's perhaps where you want to go. And take it back to center. And you're going to press your inner thigh away. So roll to outer left leg and press your inner left thigh away from you. So you're getting the stretch to your inner left thigh, to your hip crease, to your groin. All right, start to release sole of the left foot to the inner right thigh. All right, so again, if you need to wedge something to the outer left leg to anchor the leg down, right? So it may not be that your outer left knee can touch down, right? So depending on the thickness of your legs, it may not be touching down. As long as the outer leg in general, right, is touching down, that's what's anchoring you, giving you support. All right, let's twist to left. Left hand behind you, right hand to left knee. Let's twist again. Stay with the legs, stay with the twist. Start to lean over toward the right leg. Left arm up and over left ear to extend. And so again, if your shoulder's beginning to collapse, the way to correct it is left hand behind you, stack your shoulders, lean back and lean forward. Now you have another option which I just thought of, right? Which is always the case. If your arm overhead is difficult for you, you should angle your arm forward. So that translates here to reaching left arm out to the side a little bit. Continue to stack your shoulders the best you can, but rather than the arm overhead, angling off to the side. So that's a nice way to modify that. I think though, I prefer this because with your left hand behind you, you can use that resistance to very actively draw the front of the left shoulder back in space. So that gives you a much better shoulder opener. All right, take it back up, and then let's counter twist to the right. Back to center. Extend the left leg forward. Now this time, we're going to take the both legs slightly angled out about mat width distance. Raise the arms up high, extend. Keep that full extension. Try not to round the spine. Hinge at the hips to take it forward. Then reach forward. You can grab your feet, ankles, or anywhere along the left leg, the legs, right? And then you're going to fold forward into a wide-legged forward fold. Take it back up. Let the feet go a little bit wider. Right, so try to take full extension of your legs. If you're not able to, right, and it's a slight bend of the knee, that is fine. Work with a slightly bent knee. Now, if the slightly bent knee gets all kind of like wonky and asymmetrical, right? If you have towels, right? Maybe if you have two towels so that you can make them symmetrical, or two blocks, make them symmetrical. you can always wedge the block underneath you, the blocks underneath you, so that with your knees bent, you have some level of support so that you can still actively press down, right? And by actively pressing down, your legs become engaged. And when they become engaged, they're supportive, right? So that's what you're looking for. All right, so we're going to press the left arm to inside the left leg, reach the right arm out, and again, side bending over to the left, half bind, with the arms slightly out, but you're looking to step the best you can. Right? So the way to work with this arcing of the hand is, initially, if your shoulders are tight, you're working like this. In time, as you gain flexibility, you're going to move it further and further overhead until they line up. Once you line up, you have a lot more flexibility. That's what you're working with, right? Anytime when the arms are overhead, right, you can always angle the arms forward, go wider. Any of those movements, right, are helpful. All right, take it back up, switch sides. Right hand to inside the right leg, extend the left arm out, and overhead. And so again, modify left arm behind you to stack your shoulders. Left arm over to side, progressively over the ear. Keep the legs engaged by flexing your feet. Do the best you can to press down and to fully extend the leg. Take it back up again. Staying here, this time we're going to fold over the leg. Rotate over to the left, right arm is up, and fold forward. Now, as we fold forward, we have a tendency for the other leg to roll in as well, right? Try to resist. Keep the toes pointing up to the sky as you fold. Take it back up, other side. Right hand down, left arm up. Lean forward, reach for the foot and fold. Take it back up. Support the inner thighs above the knees so that when you pull, the knees will actually bend. And then soles of feet together. Let the feet go a little bit further forward. Grab the inside of the feet or thread the arms underneath. You can round your back as much as you want in this forward fold and just take it gently forward. Begin to take it back up. Separate your feet, pivot to your heels, support with the hands behind you, and windshield wiper your knees side to side. Take it back to center, draw the left heel in, sitting up tall. Flex your right foot, pick up the heel with your hands. So you're on the underside, right? Flex your feet, sit up tall the best you can, and lift. Now for those of you where this is creating a very rounded back position for you, right? If you elevate on a block or on a blanket, just like in your seated position at the very beginning of class, if you elevate and the hips are a little bit higher over your knees, over your feet, it makes it a lot easier for you to sit tall, right? So with this elevation, right, so I notice that the shin of the outer left leg may not be touching down. So if your foot is flexed and your heel is further forward this way, you're going to be dangling in space. That's difficult. Take the top of the leg, the shin, to the floor, so that helps you to lean forward even more. And that might give you a much better positioning with this left leg to help you to stabilize. Right? So we're looking to flex your foot into hip opening and leg cradle. Right? So make sure you flex your foot. Raise your heel as high as you can, sitting up tall still. And then start to draw the right knee back in space. So you're opening up the foot to the right. Right? So you may not have that much range, right, to go this far. That's okay. what you're looking for is sensation, right? If you just angle up a little bit and your hips are tight and you're feeling a lot of sensation, then that's what you want to do, right? Just stay there. Now, you don't want to round the spine just to kind of like go wider, right? That defeats the purpose. You need a vertical line in a sitting up position, in a stable vertical position, right? In order to support you in this leg cradle, in this hip opening. All right, so try not to round the spine that much. A little bit initially, okay, that's the best you can do, that's the best you can do. You build up on it. All right, let's go a little bit deeper. If you can, you're going to wrap your arms underneath your shin, pick up the right leg to maybe about parallel the floor, and flex your right foot. So this is a leg cradle. If that's difficult for you, you're going to work with the shin coming up as high as you can, but if you need to let the heel go further forward in order to do that, right? Maybe it's a little bit closer if you're a little lower, right? But as you elevate, it gets tighter, right? So let the foot go further out. And that way, it frees enough space for you to lift the shin and sit up tall. Maybe this is your leg cradle. That's all you can handle. That is fine. And perhaps you're here. All right, let's release. Extend both legs forward first, so that you can let this leg rest, and then just shake out your legs a little bit. All right, so this time I will demonstrate with the block first, and I'll come off the block. All right, so second side, if you're taking the block. First, test. Flex your foot, draw the heel in. See if you can comfortably stay here, continue to balance, and have this leg in this position. If that's difficult, point the toes. Lay the top of the shin to the floor so that the leg can press down. Pick up the left foot, flex your foot, grab the outside of the ankle, sitting up tall. Lift the heel as high as you can. Alright, so that's what that will look like. If you stay on the seated position, this is where you are. If you can lift up a little higher, lift up a little higher. Alright, starting on the leg cradle. Arms underneath the left shin, flex your left foot, stay sitting up tall the best you can. If that's not possible, right? Lift up as high as you can. If you need to angle the heel forward a little bit, then do that. Right? All right, let's start to release. Again, extend both legs forward and shake it out side to side. And bend the knees, swing the legs back behind you. And let's make your way to down dog and lengthen out the legs. Walk it out side to side. All right, come back to down dog with stillness. Hands are about shoulders width, fingers wide spread. Either your middle fingers or your index fingers point straight forward. Press your finger tips, finger knuckles, and the pads of the hands to the floor. And let the fingers, right, the outer edges of your hands, bear a lot of weight so that you're distributing a lot of the work through the fingertips. And your wrists are on the floor pressing down, but let the hands, the rest of the hands, the fingers, share a lot of the work, okay? So you're not using all the weight onto the wrists, you're actually pressing through the fingertips. All right, on the inhale, raise your right leg up, three-legged dog. Step the right foot forward between your hands, ground the back heel down and anchor down. You can always use your hands to top the thighs to help you rise up. Staging into your warrior one. Point the right toes forward, which means the side of the foot is parallel to the side of the mat. Lunge your front knee forward, lining up over the heel. Ground through the back heel. Now, if your ankles are tight, pointing the toes further forward is going to be harder. So you want to actually turn the toes out a little bit. That makes it a lot easier for your ankles, and then you can lengthen out the leg a lot more easily. Square the hips forward. Raise your arms up, warrior one. So here's an example of your arms overhead, toward your ears, right, alongside the ears. It's difficult for your shoulders. You can reach your arms forward slightly. You can even widen out your arms, right? For some of us, maybe this is the most productive, which means you have the lengthiest spine. You don't have a lot of stress in your shoulders and your shoulder blades, right, and the pectorals, but you feel expansiveness, you feel extension, right? So for some of you with really tight shoulders, this might be the best option. For those of you who have much more openness in your shoulders, arms straight up, this is your warrior pose, right? All these are good options, they're all warriors. Open it up, warrior two. Arms are parallel to the floor, reaching opposite directions. Make sure you can still see the inside of the foot. Oftentimes, when we turn to open to warrior two, the knees also go with the rotation, right? So you don't want the knees to draw in just because you're turning to the left. You want the legs to stay aligned. It is all happening in the spine, right? And a little bit in the hips, not so much in the knees. Flip the front palm, reverse warrior, exhale, hands to the floor. Right foot stepping back, lower all the way down to the belly. Hands alongside the rib cage, reach your toes back, and the thighs are pressing down. Inhale, lift up, baby cobra. So you're on your lower ribs and your lower belly, elbows alongside the ribs. Press into your hands. Lift up a little higher, halfway up. So this time your ribs are away from the floor, your belly away from the floor. Lift up even higher. Bhujangasana, full extension of your arms if you have it, or slight bending of the elbows. And lower all the way back down, and then make your way back to child's pose. Draw the seat toward the heels and fold forward. Let the lower back release, especially because that was a pretty long back bend. And rise back up, down dog. All right, come back to stillness, left leg up. Step the left forward, between your hands. Left toes point straight forward. Line up the left knee over the left heel. Ground the back heel down. Use your hands to assist you if you need it. Otherwise, just reach your arms forward and up. Rise up to warrior one. Arms alongside the ears, palms facing each other, parallel. Or you can reach forward, or you can reach wider. All of those are good options. Grounding through the back heel, right? So if you turn your toes out a little bit, it makes it a lot more accessible. Open it up, warrior two. So again, when you rotate to the right side, right? There's some movement to the hips, mostly to the spine, but try not to move your left knee, right? Try not to let it knock inwards. Warrior two. Flip the front palm, reverse, warrior. Support with the right hand to your right leg. And then hands to the floor, left foot, stepping back plank. Exhale, lower all the way down to the belly. This time, let's take the hands back behind you. Press your palms down. Lift the head and the upper back. Keep the belly and the ribs to the floor. Right? You're not going to be able to lift that high, that is fine. Lift up a little higher, right? Your belly is still on the floor, your ribs still on the floor, but we're going to add on now your feet. Lift your feet, lift your thighs. And then lift your hands as well. This is your locust pose, Shalabhasana. All right, start to release. Again, hands alongside the rib cage, transitioning back to your child's pose, and let it go in your forward fold. Release, take it back to down dog. Inhale, right leg up. Step the right foot forward. Warrior one. Cactus the arms. Palms are facing forward. Draw the arms toward each other. Touch your forearms, touch your elbows if you can. Notice how that broadens your back, right? Staying here, and then lift the elbows higher. Notice now it's beginning to activate the underside of your shoulder blades and your shoulder joints. Lift up even higher. And then lift up by pointing your sternum, your heart center upwards. So now you're going to mid-upper back bend. Come back to center, release your arms, warrior one. Open it up, warrior two. Reverse warrior, side angle. You can take the right hand to inside the foot. If you can reach, left arm up. If that's tight for you, take the arm to top the right leg. Now, when you take the arm to top the right leg, we tend to kind of like sink into right ribs, right? Warrior one like this, or warrior two like this. We don't want the sinking of the ribs. In fact, we want to press into the arm and lift the ribs away from the thigh. That way, you're activating your right ribs and you're lengthening out the left. Okay, so this is your modified side angle. This is your full side angle. Inhale, come up. Reverse warrior. Exhale, triangle. Lengthen out the right leg, arms are parallel. Tip the left hip back. Reach your right hand forward. If you have the full pose, right hand to the floor. Left arm is up. If you don't have the full pose, right hand to top the shin, higher up if you're less flexible, a little bit lower if you have a little more range. So those are really good options for you. Triangle. Inhale, take it back up. Now, to keep safe on the right leg and the right hamstrings, if you bend the right knee ever so slightly, that will reduce that tension to your hamstrings so that you can come up safely. Then you can re-lengthen your right leg as you take it up into reverse triangle. Bend the front knee, hands to the floor. Right foot stepping back plank. And again, lower all the way down to belly. This time, the Sphinx Pose. Take the forearms down to the floor. Grab opposite elbows. That's how you measure out the width of your shoulders, right? Once you have that, move your hands forward. Palms are flat. Your arms are parallel to each other, about shoulders width. Belly and ribs are to the floor. Pressing the belly and ribs to the floor will flatten your lower back. Reach your toes back. But as you press your forearms down, lift your chest in opposition. So this is your mid-back bend. Now notice, the lower we are, the higher the back bend. As you come up higher, Bhujangasana, up dog, it's going to go further and further down the spine and the back bend. Alright, so press your hands down, lift the elbows up. Notice that back bend went from here to here. It went down a few inches, right? So this becomes Bhujangasana. Right, so your hands are still pretty far forward, so it is a slightly lower Cobra pose. Now, if you're ready to go a little bit deeper, bend the elbows first. Walk your hands in, about one hand print. Then as you keep the elbows bent, roll the shoulders forward. As you roll the shoulders forward, up, and back, lengthen out the arms to lift the torso. So notice, as you came up, you already went further down the spine in this back bend. Now, if you have one more in you, bend the elbows. Walk your hands back a little bit more with elbows bent. Circle the shoulders until you lengthen and lift. So this is your Cobra. Again. And release. Child's pose. So anytime you take an extended back bend, you really need to come out of the pose very slowly and carefully into a forward fold. Alright, take back to down dog. Inhale, left heel up. Step the left foot forward between your hands. Right heel comes down. Warrior one. Cactus the arms. Palms face forward. Draw the arms in toward each other. Your forearms, your elbows touch if you can. Alright, once you have a stable position here, lift the elbows a little higher. So already notice that sensation into the outer edges of your shoulders, shoulder blades. Then lift even higher. If you want to add on a back bend, keep reaching through the elbows. And come back to center. Cactus your arms, arms up. Open it up. Warrior 2. Reverse warrior. Side angle. Hands to the inside of the foot. Right arm up. You can manage the full pose. Or it is your left arm to top left leg. And again, try not to collapse into the left ribs, but lift the ribs away from the thigh, which gives you more expansiveness to the right ribs as well. Inhale, take it back up, reverse warrior. Lengthen out the left leg, triangle. Tip the right hip back, left hand forward. Left hand to the floor, if you take the full pose, right arm up. Or take the hand higher up the shin, or a little bit lower if you have more range. Triangle. Inhale, take it back up. Reverse the triangle. And then bend the front knee, hands to the floor, left foot stepping back, lower all the way down to the belly. Now I give you an option today, right? If you want to come back to your Sphinx Pose and work there, you can. Or if you have a block, you can take the lower ribs to the block and reach the arms back, right? If just to the block, especially to the pork block, which is quite hard, if that's a little bit rough for your abs, right, or your lower ribs, cushion with a blanket. And you notice that this back bend, being supported like this, gives you an opportunity to hold the back bend more comfortably and for a while, right? Of course, if reaching arms back becomes too rigorous, you can always help yourself, right? Otherwise, you're just holding here. Right? If you're not taking this option, you are in Sphinx Pose, right? Which is this one. Right? Continue to hold where you are. For those of you in Sphinx, let's bend the elbows, take the thumbs to the chin, and then press your thumb forward. So that your chin moves forward, you're getting a stretching of the throat. All right, wherever you are, start to come out of your props and release. Walk your hands back and again, child's pose, right? Nice and slow. Coming out of extended back bends into a gentle forward fold, and then release. Take it back to down dog. Start to walk your feet forward toward your hands. Feet together, knees together. Rise up. Chair pose. Bend at the knees, shift the weight back toward your heels, arms forward to a diagonal. Now, you can take your torso a little bit more forward, or a little bit more vertically. If you go more vertically, there's actually a deeper back bend that happens. Whereas if you angle forward, it's much more of a neutral spine. So here, if you want to work a little bit more strongly and take a back bend, take a back bend here. All right, start to rise up. Standing tall into your Tadasana, standing mountain pose. Stepping on the left foot. Pick up the right knee for your tree pose. So the right foot in your left leg. So try to go above the knee joint if you can, but that's going to require more flexibility in the hips, right? And that translates to better balance. All right, if that's difficult, take it below the knee. Right, that'll make it a lot easier for your hips. And much more stable in your balance. Just holding it here for a few breaths. Begin to release. Draw the right knee forward, step the right foot down, and release to walk it out. come back to Tadasana. Stepping on the right foot, pick up the left knee, open your arm to the side, grab that foot, take it to inner right leg. Above the knee joint if you can, below the knee joint if that makes better sense for you. Right? So key point is balance, coordination, and stability, right? So if you can get all of those things in your tree pose, it doesn't matter if your foot is above or below the knees at this point, right? As you build your practice, then you want to get higher and higher until you can get it into a proper tree pose. Holding it here. All right, beginning to release. Step it down, walk it out, side to side. All right, come back to stillness. Stepping on the left foot again, pick up the right knee. Twist here. Taking the left hand to the right knee, right arm reaching back to twist. Now, if you have better extension, and grab the outside of the right foot with your left hand, extend it forward, right arm reaching back to twist. Wherever you are, if you're feeling stable here, you can start to look to the side or look behind you. Release, square back to center, step the right foot down and walk it out. Alrighty, second side. Stepping on the right foot. Pick up the left knee. Right hand to the left knee, left arm reaching back to twist. Or grabbing the outside of the left foot with the right hand. Make sure you're shooting the heel straight forward. Once you have a twist, feeling pretty stable, you can look to the side or look behind you. Square back to center, step it down and walk it out side to side. All right, come back to Tadasana. Inhale, reach arms out and up. Exhale, side bend to the right. Take it back to center. Exhale, side bend to the left. Take it back to center. Hands to the hips. Press your thumbs to your lower back and frame your hips with the hands. Draw the elbows back, broadening your chest. Then press your thumbs into your lower back and lean the hips forward. With the hips leaning forward, upper torso draws back, elbows back, gently looking up. Now, if your neck is strong and healthy, and you start to want to drop the head further back, you can. Gently take it back up, release, bend the knees, hands to the floor, step the right foot back, step the left foot back for down dog. Inhale, left heel up, crescent moon, step the left foot forward between hands, right knee comes down, take extra padding to right knee if you need it, otherwise, directly to the floor is fine, hands to top of the thighs and lunge forward. Let's stay here with your hands to the thighs and just actively lunge your hips forward. Right, so you should feel the stretch to your right hip, right quads, and you want to line up the left knee to the left heel to a vertical line the best you can. The left heel should be flat to the floor. Feel your front heel on this one. All right, let's take a variation together. Hands to the floor. Turn the left toes out, left thigh out in the same angle. Okay? So that the rotation is happening at the hip joint, not from the knees, right? If you turn your toes, if you turn your toes out, but keep the knees in. It presses to the inner knees, and that's really wonky for your knees, not so good. But if you angle out the left knee to side as well, then it goes into your hips, much more stable. Right? As your left foot, left thigh angles out to the left side, you're going to angle the torso to the right, to the opposite direction. Take the right forearm down to the floor, extend the left arm out. Now, again, if you cannot take the right forearm down and you have a block, that's a great way to modify. If that is not possible, if you don't have a block, all you're doing is angling onto the right side. Keep your arm extended, but left arm keeps crawling out and reaching. Right? So those are your modified positions. Alright? So ultimately, this is what I want. Right forearm down, left hand reaching out to the right side. Left leg angling out to the left. So they're going in opposite directions. Now, if you want more shoulder opening, right? More sensation to the outer left shoulder, you can lean slightly forward. When you lean to the left, I mean. Lean to the left, which means in the direction of the front of the room for you. When you lean into the left, you're going to the outer edge of your left shoulder and the left ribs. Right? So that really feels good for me because my shoulders are always too tight. So this is a great way, a more gentle way of finding sustained extension. All right, walk it back in. Turn the left toes back forward. Frame your left foot with your hands, tuck the back toes, lift the back knee, and lengthen over the left leg for the pyramid. Now for those of you who have one block, take it to the inside of the foot and use both hands evenly. If you have two blocks, they go to either side of your left leg, right? And using both hands evenly as well. So those are your choices. All right. Bend the left knee, round the palms, kick the left leg up, three-legged dog. Draw the left knee in, line that shin to the floor, pigeon, into right knee back. So same concept here. If you angle out the left knee, left thigh, out to side, 30 to 45 degrees, you're going into the hip joint. You're also helping to square off your hips by angling out the left thigh. Into right knee as far back as you can to lower your seat, walk your hands back, elongate. This is where you test it out. Are the hips level? It's just spine straight. If you're doing this right, you set it up right, you should feel pretty balanced. Then you can draw forward into your forearms, you can make pillows with the hands, and stay here in a passive pigeon pose and hold. Keep the breath deep and rhythmic. And with that depth of your breath, maybe you can sink in to the hip opener a little bit more. Right? So to get more out of the pose in pigeon is about being more passive. All right, start to release. Walk your hands back in, lift the torso. Tuck the back toes under and lift back into your down dog. And take lots of movement side to side. Pedal out those legs. All right, second side. Raise your right leg up, crescent moon first. Step the right foot between your hands, left knee comes down. Untuck the toes. Extra padding to your left knee if you need. So we took the modified position, hands on top of the thighs, and just lunging forward. All right, so we did a lot of arms and shoulders. Let's de-emphasize that on this pose. Let's work on just the hips and leaning forward. All right, let's start to break. Hands to the inside of the right foot. Turn the right toes out about 30 to 45 degrees. Angle out the right thigh, about the same angle as your foot, so the rotation happens at the hips and not at the knees. Then the torso angles over to the left. Walk your hands over. Now, if you're not very flexible, you cannot take the left arm down. Keep the left arm extended, but you can still actively reach more with your right hand. Right? So that length of your right side is what I'm looking for in this pose. Now, if you can take the left arm down, take the left arm down and reach out. And again, if you want to take the forearm to a block or blanket for a little bit of elevation, that works well. And take it back in. Turn the right toes back forward. Frame your right foot with your hands. Tuck the back toes, lift the back knee, and lengthen over that right leg, pyramid. All right, let's transition into your pigeon. Bend your right knee, flatten the palms. Kick the right leg up, three-legged dog. Draw the right knee in, land that shin to the floor. Inch your left knee further back. So you're on top of the right shin, right knee, right thigh. Angles up to the right, 30 to 45 degrees. Walk your hands back. Elongate through the spine, make sure you're nice and measured. And then take it forward. You can stay in your forearms, you can make pillows in the hands, your choice. Right, so since we're staying in a passive pigeon, let the pose be very passive so that gravity can help you get deeper into the pose. Sink into those hips. Three more breaths. And start to take it back up. Walk your hands back in, tuck the back toes, and press it back to your down dog. Walk it out side to side. Walk your feet forward toward the heavens. Take the seat down. Extend the legs forward. Support it with the hands either side so that you can recline with some support. So as you slide the hands out, your arms take a lot of the weight of your torso so you can safely come down onto your back. Once you're on your backs, hug the left knee in. Right hand to your outer left leg. You're going to twist to the right. Roll onto the outer right leg, outer right hip. But now keep your left arm and your left shoulder blades flat to the floor. So you're looking to anchor the upper torso with your left arm, left shoulder blades. And you're looking for a smiling twist. And take it back to center, switch legs, switch arms, and twist the other direction. So you're rolling on to outer left leg, outer left hip. Keep the right arm, right shoulder blades flat, so you're anchoring down through that right side as you twist to your left. And take it back to center again. Hug both knees in this time. And then step the feet to the floor. Slide the legs forward. Toes turned out. Arms alongside the body. Palms face up. And let it all go. Shavasana, final relaxation. Start to draw the breath back in. Moving the fingers and the toes, reach the arms overhead. And then rolling over to the right side, come up to a comfortable cross-legged position. Inhale for all. Hands together in prayer, bowing forward, sealing the practice. Come up. Namaste. Thank you so much for your practice today. Please visit my website, simhayoga.com, for the full streaming schedule, as well as my payment information for Venmo and for PayPal. My preferred way of payment is through Venmo, and my handle is Simha Yoga Lab. And the 4-digit ID code is 8096 if you're prompted for it. Classes are $10, and if you're having a difficult time right now, $5 is fine. Please do the best you can. I'm streaming on Instagram and Facebook, and the videos are uploaded there. And then I'm also uploading the same videos to my YouTube channel. And my channel is Simha Yoga Lab. Now, if you're not actually streaming with me, or if you're having a very shaky time with Instagram and Facebook with audio and video, you might want to go to YouTube instead. YouTube has far better quality audio and video, and you can also bring the video up onto your smart TV, so it's just a much better visual experience altogether. So if that works better for you, please go to YouTube. All right, thank you guys. Have a great day. Be well. I will see you soon.